starting lineups for today's game. First for the visiting Roadrunners. They enter with a record of 3 wins, no losses, 3 ties on the season. Starting in goal, a junior from Ringwood, New Jersey.
Should I
number
go
1, Joshua Schaefer. A senior back from Wayne, New Jersey, number 2, Justin Charkowski. A senior forward from Cape May Courthouse, New Jersey, number 3, Joseph Falla. A senior back from Fair Lawn, New Jersey, number 7, Ronald Kesselboyum. A senior midfielder from Teaneck, New Jersey, number 8, Bashkim Saiti. A senior midfielder from Hawthorne, New Jersey, number 10, Araton Mamini. A freshman midfielder from Garfield, New Jersey, number 11, Raul Macedo. A freshman midfielder from Hackensack, New Jersey, number 14, Tiago Stalbaum. A junior midfielder from Westwood, New Jersey, number 15, Eduardo Reyes. A freshman back from Glen Rock, New Jersey, number 16, Mark Buckle. And a junior back from Oldbridge, New Jersey, number 21, Louis Petrozello. The head coach for the Roadrunners in his 16th season is DJ Pinton. Assistant coaches are Jamie Bywald, Danny Estepinen, Tirso Hurtado, Rob Santaniello, Peter Bonilla, Matt Beverin, and John Mera, and the Ramapo captains are Justin Charkowski, Joseph Falla, and Brady White. And now, let's meet the starting 11 for your unbeaten Gothic Knights of New Jersey City University. Entering today's game, 9 wins, no losses, no ties. Starting in goal, a junior from Jersey City, New Jersey, number 0, out of here, Kazoon. A sophomore midfielder from Bayonne, New Jersey, number 2, Orlando Alcantara. A senior back from Kearney, New Jersey, number 3, Mike Almeida. A junior back from Fairview, New Jersey, number 5, Nelson Segovia. A senior back from Montclair, New Jersey, number 6, Ron Jones. A senior midfielder from Montclair, New Jersey, number 7, Koshane Marshall. A freshman back from Kearney, New Jersey, number 8, João Fernandez. A senior midfielder from Hackensack, New Jersey. He was last week's National Player of the Week, number 10, Joe Burgos. A sophomore forward from Blairstown, New Jersey, number 11, Edric DePaula. A sophomore midfielder from Jersey City, New Jersey, number 14, Edwin Hernandez. And a sophomore midfielder from East Orange, New Jersey, number 16, Samuel Ansa. The head coach for the Gothic Knights in his 4th season is Joe Cullen. Assistant coaches, Michael Rudden, Dan Joe Burgos, Ryan Farrell, Ron Jones, and Koshane Marshall. Fans, at this time, we ask you to please rise and join both schools as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Thank you. Now it's time for some Gothic Knights soccer.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in here to Gothic Vision. Beautiful day here in Jersey City, New Jersey. Temperatures soaring into the 80s. Today it's men's Division III soccer as the visiting Ramapo College Roadrunners take on your New Jersey City University Gothic Knights. The 48th meeting between these two NJAC rivals. Ramapo has won the past 6 meetings, and they lead the series all-time 23-19-5. Ramapo 3-0-3, undefeated on the season with 3 draws. New Jersey City University off to their best start in 61 years. In the history of the program, they're riding a pair of big 2 victories, coming in a 9-game winning streak to start the season. Their most recent outing, the Knights tallied a comeback road victory, with Samuel Lansaw scoring what held as the game winner in the 63rd minute, and goalie Aldahir Kazoun making a huge penalty stop in the 80th minute to preserve the lead. The starting lineups are in, the anthem has been sung, and we are getting ready to kick things off here at Robert L. McNulty Memorial Soccer Field. Big rivalry between these two schools, their first conference matchup of the season. New Jersey City University getting some national attention this past week when Eric DePaula created a moment that would end up the number 2 play on ESPN SportsCenter's Top 10 the next day. In the 94th minute of that game, Joe Burgos floated a perfect cross into the box, which DePaula took on the chest and bicycle kicked over the College of Mount St. Vincent goalie, ending the match with the golden goal and setting the NJCU record for wins to start a season in the process. Ramapo College has gotten off to an undefeated start this season as well. 3 draws in the mix. Roadrunners, 10 goals to just 3 allowed in their 6 games. 3 shutouts along the way. Last year's leading scorer, Joseph Fala, once again leading the way for the Roadrunners this season. He's got 3 goals in the first 6 games of the season for Ramapo College. As our PA announcer mentioned early, Joe Burgos leading the way for New Jersey City University. Voted the Division III National Men's Player of the Week last week. Look for good things out of Burgos this afternoon. The head coach for Jersey City Gothic Knights, Joe Cullen, in his 4th season. Montclair State University alum. The head coach for Ramapo College is D.J. Pinton. The referee today, Andrew Idle. And we're underway here at Robert L. McNulty Field. These two programs no strangers to each other, like we said earlier. Big time rivalry between these two teams. First conference matchup of the season. Throw-in. That's the keeper for Ramapo with the easy save. Starting a goal from Ramapo today, Joshua Schaefer. Booming kick. That'll be a free kick now for Ramapo. Ronald Kestel-Boyum surveying the field. He puts one high over the goal. Starting a goal today for New Jersey City University. Aldahir Kazoun. Late September afternoon here in Jersey City. Beautiful day for soccer. Ramapo's controlling.
And joining you now on the broadcast, John, I have taken off the PA headset. Happy to be with you, and welcome to
Mr.
Gothic Vision.
Ira Thor, thanks so much for having me today, buddy.
You will see a good one here between two teams that I think both have visions of being in the NJAC playoffs this year. Obviously, Ramapo made the NCAA tournament a year ago. Gothic Knights with their best start, now by 2 wins in history of the program.
Justin Schaefer with the first shot on goal for Ramapo. Third shot on goal.
The women's soccer game, by the way, is now in overtime in Mahwah, 1-1. Ramapo led 1-0 at the half. Mayancy Vargas with her NCAA leading 16th goal of the year. And that's where we stand right now. They are in the 96th minute in sudden death.
Gaudy numbers for that young lady.
And just like Joe Burgos, who's charged for the foul here, you see the sportsmanship by him. Well, 2 weeks in a row, the Gothic Knights with a National Player of the Week. Vargas winning it this past Tuesday after putting up 12 goals and 5 assists in 1 week. Basically unheard of.
Unbelievable. Kessel Boyum with the free kick here. It's into the box. Kazoon with the save.
Kazoon's done a really solid job back there. This year is his first year as a full starter. He had split duties in that role the last 2 seasons with Eric Lopes Silva. Now, Kazoon, the clear-cut number 1, has played all but 45 minutes in the first 9 games this year.
He's definitely getting a heavy workload. Seems to be rising to the occasion. Trip's going to be called there.
And this is a game that Andrew Idle, our center official today, is going to have to make sure he's maintaining early on because
you don't want things to get out of hand.
Absolutely not. And these NJAC games are notorious for being physical, not just in soccer, but if you've ever seen a basketball game, it's a little testy out there.
Little chippy. That was Eduardo Reyes who got tripped up. He seemed to shake things off.
But that is normal because such a small state, New Jersey, these guys grew up playing against each other.
A lot of them know each other well.
It's a big-time save there.
By Kazoon, absolutely. He's been tested early.
Haratom Amini was the striker on that one. It'll be a corner kick here for the Roadrunners.
First corner.
Kick number 7, Ronald Kesselboyum.
Kesselboyum sets things up. Coming way out of his
good defense by the Knights here to avoid catastrophe. Kazoon maybe committed a little too far out there on the flank.
He came way out.
And the biggest problem was that on his way back, he actually got screened by his outside right back, so he had trouble getting a direct line back inside the 6. Fortunately, Ramapo could not put one on target.
I do like the aggressiveness of Kazoon, though, rather than him sit back there. I'd much rather have an aggressive goaltender who's not afraid to come out and challenge.
And he's played well this year. He's got 4 shutouts on the season. 3 he's directly attributed to, and then 2 foul there is Marshall called for running over Petroziello.
Kessel Boyum with the free kick. Broken up by the Ramapo defender. Edge here in terms of ball possession and keeping things in their end of the field of play. Gothic Knights a little slow getting things started offensively, but they're hanging in there.
Good job by Mike Almeida to come over on he's the right center back coming in to clean that play up. Number 3 for NJCU. And he alertly touches this one over the end line. Tough assignment because notable size difference between Joseph Fowler for Ramapo and virtually everybody else. He stands 6'7", big young man out of Cape May County.
That's got to be the tallest guy in the NJAC.
He might be the tallest guy in Division III,
Exactly.
At least in soccer, of course. Almeida listed at 5'11". Val had 27 goals a year ago. He's a little bit off that pace right now, only with 3. But he is capable of striking, John, at any given moment.
Multifaceted. Angelo Romano.
And offsides here for the Roadrunners. Women's soccer is now deep in the 100th minute, and they actually are now going to be going to double overtime. Still knotted 1-1 in Ramapo, Mawa, New Jersey.
Controlling. Number 10, Araton Mamini. Coming out to make the save for Ramapo. Noah.
Joshua Schaefer.
There we go.
And Edric DePaula coming in a little bit late there, and a little bit of a collision between him and Schaefer, and the official comes over just to make sure there's no bad blood there, as Schaefer is going to be given a moment here to stretch out his calf. And also clean up his socks as well. It's amazing. I've played goalkeeper since I was 8 years old. Dirt on you, mud on you doesn't bother you. But when your socks are bunched up over your shin guards, it is the most annoying thing in the world.
We all have our little perks, our quirks on the field. Certainly that would be a distraction. Ramapo controlling. We'll get back to their keeper, Schaefer. Schaefer with a booming kick. That's a nice ball.
Good job there by Edwin Hernandez, who we announced as a midfielder, but he has been playing that outside back role most of the last 2 weeks and is excelling in his first chance as a starter.
Ball down the right side.
That was a good ball by DePaula onto the feet of Burgos, making him able to stay on sides, and I think the Knights are going to get a corner out of this.
On the corner for the Gothic Knights, number 2, Orlando Alcantara.
Alcantara setting things up for the first corner for the Gothic Knights this afternoon. Broken up by Ramapo. Shot on goal. Saved by Schaefer.
João Fernandez, very dangerous in that center rollback. He's able to contribute offensively. Already has a pair of goals this year, John. At 6'3", in most cases provides a size matchup nightmare, but not when you have a 6'7" forward who led the country in scoring last year lingering around.
Absolutely. Throwing now for the Gothic Knights.
I can't imagine being that tall on the soccer field. Would have probably scored a lot more goals over the years.
Yeah, that's a big body, hard to contain. And typically in soccer, you don't see guys, obviously, that tall.
You know where it really makes a difference is on those headers, especially off corners.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's able
Huge.
to kind of whittle himself out of a crowd situation.
pursuing for Ramapo. That was Fala. Gothic Knights now controlling. Charkowski to Petrozello. Joe Burgos down the left side for the Gothic Knights, broken up.
It's going to be a foul on Burgos there, clipping Petrozello.
Free kick for Ramapo.
Update on women's game. The game has just gone final, 1-1. It is a tie in Mahwah, so each team will start the NJAC women's slate with a point. As, of course, there are no shootouts in the regular season in NCAA soccer. Doesn't happen until you get to the playoffs.
Right. Schaefer for Ramapo. Ira, do you think the sense of urgency during conference games, do you see a bit of a heightened level of play, or at this point of the season, how do these guys stretch things out, not overdo it? It is a long season, playoff contenders for sure. In terms of preserving, is there more intensity for conference games that you notice?
I think there's a certain level of excitement more than anything at this time of year. Yeah. These guys have all been playing non-conference games, and while they have a certain level of significance, once you get in the league play, just the level of what these games mean, it just escalates immediately, and everybody knows it. Again, we talked about these games being chippy. Well, these guys, majority of them, especially the Jersey guys, have been playing against each other since they're little kids.
Right.
All right. Especially the elite level players. So there is that pride. And you don't want to be losing conference games. Even game number 1 has the significance of the 9th conference game of the year, because there's really only 9 games. It's a one-time around. Every point matters. And these guys have been waiting 3 weeks to get it going, and here they are today.
And they're looking good. Burgos gets pushed off the ball. Like you said, he's got his hand.
Kowski. This is going to be a great opportunity here for the Knights from the left side.
So that's Alcantara. Taking the corner. He sizes things up. Low kick.
Yeah, that was blocked. Burgos got a shot there, and I think the Ramapo right back, I believe that's Charkowski, got a piece of it.
And that shot goes wide.
Alcantara looking for the upper right corner and was able to somehow sidestep that last defender, number 21, Louis Petrozello, and still get a shot on frame despite, again, another size advantage. These Ramapo Roadrunners, John, definitely have a size advantage in virtually every position.
And it changes things up in terms not only for the mindset, but just physically to get around those guys, to get above them. It definitely has an impact to have that biggest size advantage throwing for the Gothic Knights.
And JCU's biggest player, Ryan Farrell, one of their 5 captains this year, who has started most of the year, is not starting today, but you should expect to see him at some point.
Throw in for Ramapo. Mamini. Charkowski now over.
Okay, João Fernandes shedding defenders along the way.
Burgos has a nose for the ball. He always seems to be around it. No call on that play.
Ball stayed in play, and Ansa alertly back to his feet. There's a no call there by Andrew Idle.
Finally, we get a call there.
The clock is going to stop here. There will be a yellow card issued for going studs up. Number 11 for the Roadrunners, Raul Macedo.
Fans, your attention, please. In the 18th minute, the referee has issued a yellow card to Ramapo, number 11, Raul Macedo, a yellow card in the 18th minute.
So, Ira, 2 yellow cards, and you...
Second yellow.
Turn my mic back on here after announcing that to the crowd, but the second yellow, of course, in collegiate soccer, and I think in most of the FIFA world becomes a red, so it would only be recorded as 1 yellow. I see that mistakenly put in the stats in some collegiate programs, and you're actually hurting your kid because 5 yellows in a season, and you are automatically suspended another game. So if you put down 2 yellows instead of the yellow-red, well, you just added a card towards your second suspension.
I gotcha. Saved by Schaefer. So, Ira, in your opinion, with this turnaround of the program here at New Jersey City University in the last 4 years, there's been a dramatic turnaround. And in the 61-year history of the program, off to their best start. What do you attribute this hot start to in general? How has the culture been changed here?
I think really it's threefold. Number one, Joe Cullen came in and he took over a program that had fallen on hard times, had won 1 game, and lost to teams that they had really never lost to before in their history. And I think with any college coach, I think you have to give them 4 years. Get a full set of classes that they've recruited in to try to change that culture. It's very uncommon.
Kesselboyen with a free kick. Go ahead.
It's very, very uncommon to change that in 1 year. So Joe's needed that time, developed that staff that's helped him recruit and just change the culture. You have a group of seniors now that he initially recruited that, there's a little bit of a sense of urgency now. This is their senior year. This is their last shot. You can keep playing soccer after college, but, you never have that same team dynamic that you will have with your college teammates. So there's that sense of urgency, and you know what? We have to give credit to our director of athletics, Sean Tucker. It's his 2nd year in the director chair, and the culture has completely changed under his watch. I've been here now, this is my 20th year, and I've never had the excitement about coming to work every day that I do now, and he's kind of created that culture that has, I think, almost everyone on our staff will agree that you look forward to coming to work every day. I feel guilty about taking a vacation day.
That's awesome to hear, Ira. It really is. And at 9-0, you talk about dynamics. To have an undefeated start to your season has got to be tremendous in terms of team morale and also a little swagger. These guys, I saw them walking in earlier. You could see the confidence that this 9-0 start has produced, and we hope it continues here today.
It's a lot of fun to do the starting lineups and say the unbeaten Gothic Knights, 9 wins, no losses, no ties.
That's right.
Marshall stumbles on his own there. I think fans wanted a foul, but he definitely got fouled by the turf.
And the Ramapo player, number 15, Eduardo Reyes, wisely kicks that one out of harm's way.
That's a smart play there. Allow your defense to reset. Force the Knights to throw it in. Now, Ron Jones will take the throw here. He has a cannon.
He's got a little downward slope there, too, that'll help. Jeez, that really was a terrific throw-in.
And the clock is going to stop here. They're going to give a card to Nelson Segovia for running into the official.
Wow. And the goalkeeper's down now, too, for Ramapo. That's Joshua Schaefer. He's been shaken up a couple times here this afternoon.
And your attention, please. The referee has issued a yellow card in the 21st minute
to NJC number 5, Nelson Segovia, a yellow card in the 21st minute.
So Segovia now with the yellow card for the Gothic Knights. Yellow card issued just a few moments ago to Ramapo.
And I think that yellow was issued because it's not the first time that there's been a little bit of a collision with the goalkeeper, and obviously nothing dirty, just aggressive fouls. But there is a sense of trying to protect the goalkeeper. I mean, myself as a keeper do appreciate that.
Yeah, safety of the players really does come first.
That's a good job there by Kazoon to stay with that one because it was actually deflected off of Ron Jones on the shot there.
Yeah, Petro Ziello with the shot.
I've had 4 concussions playing goal over the years, and part of that, to me, I attribute to the fact that I wasn't protected back there. Obviously, I gambled a little too much, being a little too aggressive, but good.
Another save by Schaefer. Golden Knights picking up the pressure, evening things out in terms of possession. When it comes to head injuries, Ira, such a hot-button topic these days with the NFL, lawsuits.
I think there's just more knowledge now than there ever was.
I was surprised, though, to hear about a statistic with women's soccer. People don't realize how much it takes to head a soccer ball and the amount of movement and motion that creates. When you had your concussions, was there any protocol that you had to follow back then, or how was it different than?
Well, mine have been spaced out. The 4 I had were spaced out over, I think, 17 years. So I never had them in never
succession.
had them in close. I think the closest together was 4 years. But they didn't. I mean, talking about the early '90s, mid '90s, they didn't have the knowledge they have now. The NCAA Science Institute, which has done a lot of studies on the concussions, has also determined that there's a way that concussions affects genders differently. For example, men's and women's soccer players will both recover differently from the exact same type of concussion.
Yeah. And like you said, depending on the genetic makeup of an individual, it could take longer for some than others to recover.
I mean, but some of them were avoided. I mean, I got one where I had a knee to the underside of the jaw that I remember that game vividly, and the referee had not warned the player.
That's a nice back pass there. And 11 gets taken down for Ramapo. That's Macedo.
This is an excellent opportunity here for the Roadrunners from 22 yards. No, but that game where I got a knee to the jaw, I remember vividly. And in that contest, referee did nothing. It was the 3rd or 4th time in that game where a player had come in hard and they did nothing to warn him.
Yeah, you can't let things get out of hand like that. It's up to the referee to get a hold of those things early, set the tone. Taking the kick now, Joseph Fala for Ramapo.
Kazoon setting the wall, trying to shed them slightly towards the far post.
Actually, it is Fala. The lefty shot bends it just above the crossbar.
What was key to that wall was at the very last second, you saw João Fernandes slide in, and at 6'3", was able to provide that decoy on the far post. If Fala had any intention of going upper left, from his vantage point, upper left, the keeper's upper right, I think he might have had the nerves there imposed once you see a figure like João Fernandes step in.
That's a good point, Ira. When it comes to setting up the wall, does each player have their own designated job per se in terms of positioning, or is it more of a crapshoot sometimes?
I think everybody does it differently. I mean, it's ultimately up to the goalkeeper because they're going to set it up based on their viewpoint. They got to be able to see the ball. You don't
First
want
and foremost.
Yeah, you don't want to put a blind spot on the keeper because that's where you run into trouble. But that communication with your 2 center backs. The center backs are the ones that once you get to communication, and a lot of the time it's hand signals from the goalkeeper. That communication between the keeper and their 2 center backs, there has to be that trust factor. They're going to communicate what you need. But by and large, from that close, you're going to have at least 5 on the wall, if not more. I think they had 6 there with Fernandez sliding over at the last minute.
Is this Fernandez now with the kick or Ron Jones? I can't tell.
Jones.
There, Jones. That's a good ball. Oh! almost gets through. A great deflection.
And it was Zhao who came up at the last second. Zhao looking for the wow.
The Zhao factor.
Good crowd on hand. I think we're over 200 fans on the day. And it's tough to tell sometimes because the Robert McNulty Field used to be a football stadium that held over 3,000. So, it's like, professional soccer team playing in a 100,000 seat stadium and having 20,000 fans.
Exactly. It's going to look.
It looks less than it really is.
Yeah.
Also, fans notorious for showing up late. This is Dodger Stadium East.
Yeah, Dodger fans get a lot of grief.
I'll tell you what, I was out there.
While they're eating their sushi.
I was out there in July. Left my hotel at 5:20 for a 7:15 game. It was 12 miles away. Figured that was plenty of time.
Right.
I didn't pull into the parking lot until 7:20, 5 minutes after first pitch.
Welcome to Los Angeles.
Didn't get to my seat until the third inning.
That's unbelievable. And then you've got security and all of that, too.
Yeah, so I give L.A. fans a reprieve. I understand why they show up late. That was
broken up by the Gothic Knights. Oh, he gets
save.
a right hand on it. Gorgeous save. Got to be one of the saves of the game.
Kazoon, who was inching off his line there, the wherewithal to stay with it and get that paw up to knock it over. But there should never have been a shot, John, because that was a blatant foul at the top of the 18.
I agree. But a really acrobatic save for Kazoon, too. Elevated. Managed to get his right hand on the ball. To punch it over top.
Corner kick by number 7, stretch number 11, Raul Macedo.
Macedo. Castelboyam. Chasing now for Ramapo. That would be number 2, Charkowski. It's going to go out of bounds.
That was already 6th save for Kazoon. 8 shots for Ramapo, 6 on goal.
Castelboyam tries to get a pass between 2 Gothic Knight defenders to no avail. Crossfield pass intercepted there by number 10 for Ramapo and Araton Mamini.
O'Shea Marshall getting the crowd involved with that footwork, but couldn't maintain possession.
Macedo gets that to no one in particular.
Yeah, he's looking for Fowler, but even Fowler doesn't have that kind of speed. That ball went way too far out on the flank.
Kazoon will kick that one away. Ooh. Almeida tried to clear that. It was deflected out of play. We've got a substitution. Entering the game now, number 23, Kevin Alvarez.
Substitution for the Gothic Knights.
For
number
the Gothic
23,
Knights.
Kevin Alvarez, replacing number 16, Samuel Ansa. Alvarez for Ansa in the 29th minute.
Ron Jones twirling, dealing. Nice touch pass by number 23, Kevin Alvarez, just into the game.
And Alvarez has been a bright sign off the bench this year for the Knights. He's played 7 games, already has a goal and 3 assists.
From just down the road in Bayonne. Setting up the free kick now, Mike Almeida.
Almeida is a junior athletically, but he's going to graduate in May. So unless he comes back for graduate studies or a second major, this is his last hurrah. Same thing with Joe Burgos.
Speaking of Burgos trying to create for the Gothic Knights. But we're going to go back the other way now. That's a good ball, the number 11 for Ramapo, Macedo. Macedo, shot on goal. Kazoon with another save.
And a good job by Hernandez, who's 5'10", going up, and he's got a nice vertical. He's able to get up there and challenge Fowler on the outside and that ball in the air.
Absolutely. Prevented him from getting much on that shot. Fowler gets it back to the keeper. Controlling now for Ramapo. That was number 21, Petrozello. Out of bounds. Petrozello now will take the throw in. Yeah. That was a pretty obvious trip there.
Kim Saidi creating that opportunity, and the foul on the penalty kick opportunity here, looking for his 4th goal of the year.
So pivotal moment in the game right here, as a penalty kick has been awarded to Ramapo. And with the easy goal there, number 3, Joseph Fala, gets things started for the Roadrunners as they take the early 1-0 lead. Fala, the 6'7" senior forward out of Cape May Courthouse, New Jersey.
College goal on the penalty kick in the 32nd minute was scored by number 3.
Fala, the leading scorer
Joseph
for Ramapo. That's his 4th goal of the season,
kick in the 32nd minute.
giving him 10 total points on the year. So Fala really standing out in more ways than one today. Obviously the big physical stature, but he has certainly made his presence felt here in the first half. Schaefer with a long bomb downfield. Ball stays in bounds. Burgos for the Gothic Knights controls. He'll give it up. The Ramapo bench getting excited over there about that penalty. Taking a free kick now for Ramapo. That's Reyes. They'll switch it off now to, I believe that's number,
Gothic Knights cannot afford to find themselves in a 2-0 hole. 12 minutes left in the half. If they can get to the get to the break, I should say. Down 1, chance to regroup.
Why do you think this Ramapo team seems to have had New Jersey City University's number, as it were in the last few years? Is it just?
Well, they've just had more talent in the last few years, obviously, with the program rebuilding for NJCU. This year's team, though, NJCU has as much talent as almost everybody in the league. You know, you maybe make a case for Rowan, potentially TCNJ, and even I guess you could probably also say Montclair in that area as well. But those are your top 3 in the league. I think NJCU is right up there with everybody else.
Absolutely.
Sub was for who?
For what team? He's in already?
Checking in the game now for New Jersey City University, Eric DePaula. Or Oscar Perez comes in for Eric DePaula. Free kick, that's number 7, Kessler Boyum.
Offsides, Ramapo. Substitution for NJCU. Coming in the 34th minute, now in the game, number 4, Oscar Perez. Replacing number 11, Edric DePaula. Perez for DePaula, substitution for NJCU in the 34th minute.
Gothic Knights with the free kick. Out of bounds. Jersey City ball. Jones with the throw-in. Burgos. That shot's going to sail wide. The defender may have gotten a piece of that one. Schaefer for Ramapo.
Sometimes I'll ask if it's like where, and if I'm
What about the heat playing a factor today, Ira? I would think maybe the second half is where you'll see that maybe come into play in terms of guys wearing down, cramping, etc. I mean, not that it's in the 90s or anything, but it is definitely hotter down on the pitch.
If it's going to affect one team more than the other, it would be NJCU, as that is an obvious foul there. Jones going down. But the Knights have played 9 games already, and we're just 21 days now into September. They played 2 games in August. In 23 days, they played 9 games. Ramapo's played 6, which is a lot themselves, but that's
spread out a little bit
270
more.
more minutes of action on these guys' legs. On a hot day, yeah, they're 20 years old, 21 years old, 22 years old, depending on the age of most of these players. Only a few freshmen on the field, so they're in great shape. However, still 90 degrees, and it does wear on your body.
Yeah, just stay hydrated, but I'm thinking cramping could become an issue in the second half. Jones with the throw-in.
You'll see the officials occasionally having a hydration break. We've seen that a lot at the professional level. You know, for example, the Sky Blue FC playing Seattle Reign at the Red Bull Arena back in August. It was in the mid-'80s, and the referee had 2 hydration breaks. So you will see it even at the professional level. But Andrew Idle today, at least as of the first half, not implementing any kind of a break. Teams will get one in a little bit over 8 minutes.
That's it. Mike Almeida setting up the free kick. That's going to go out of bounds. And Schaefer, the goalkeeper for Ramapo.
Couple scores from around the conference in men's soccer. Stockton beating Kane 3-2, that game in Galloway, New Jersey. And Rutgers Camden upsetting Montclair State on the road, or in Camden, I should say, 2-0. That is a surprising result.
That's very big. There's a scary header over the back of number 5 for New Jersey City University, Segovia.
One other game, by the way, that has just gone final in double overtime. Rowan and William Patterson, 1-1 draw. The only other game tonight will be TCNJ at Rutgers Newark, 7:30 p.m. start.
Coming into the game now for Ramapo, number 9, Mujtaba Aslami.
Substitution for Ramapo. Entering the game is number 2, Mutaba Aslame. He replaces number 11, Raul Macedo. Substitution coming in the
3 headers in a
39th
row.
minute. Aslame for Macedo for the Roadrunners.
Referee Idle thinks that number 6, Ron Jones, was a little too aggressive on that play. It was a borderline call, in my opinion. But
Jones has played well the entire year. Of course, he missed all of last season with a leg injury. It's a big help to us here in GothicVision as a member of our staff last year, but he's much more valuable for the Knights out on the pitch.
free kick now. That was number 7, Kestel Boyum.
Ron, by the way, will continue to help us during basketball season. We are about 6 weeks away from that.
Yeah, Ira, you got quite a crew up here in the press box, packed with all of your loyal disciples.
I would compare my guys to anybody in Division III. I think we may have one of the best staffs.
A lot of good energy up here. It's a pleasure to be a part of things. Corner kick now for Ramapo.
It'll be number 9, Aslami.
Aslami, the right-footed shot. Can't create there. Missed kick by Ramapo. So as you're gearing up for basketball, do you see the difference in fans, students, when it comes to the different sports? How would you differentiate the level of preparation from just an academic standpoint for what you guys have to do?
In terms of?
Just in terms of the transition from fall sports to winter sports.
Well, I mean, I think in past years, with both teams last year for men's and women's soccer not being in playoff contention, there was more of a looking forward to the winter sports, knowing that you weren't going to be in postseason play.
Right.
I think this year with both teams doing very well so far, and always way out
big
on that
collision.
one. But with both teams, men's and women's soccer, both even if they lose, playing competitive games, there's a lot more of that excitement level that I think is going to be sustained as we go through the fall. And even women's volleyball, the coaching staff changed this year with Justin Beaumont taking over in mid-August as the new coach. Right now he's trying to put his own stamp on the program. But next year will be when he gets his own recruits in. So they're playing well, but they're not going to be probably a playoff team this year.
Yeah.
It'll be a little tough do it that quickly.
Well said.
But there obviously is a ton of excitement around men's basketball this year. I mean, it was almost sold out last year, the conference championship game against Rowan. 1,500 or so fans at the semifinal against Ramapo. Over 7,000 people watched that game either live or on the broadcast last year, that championship game. So there's a lot of excitement. First-team All-American Sam Toney. By the way, today is Sam Toney's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to first-team All-American Sam Toney. But we have a scholarship transfer from the University of Cincinnati to 6'10 center.
Well,
Quadri Moore.
That sounds like it's going to be a big asset, literally and figuratively.
There's a lot of talent back. That team this year is poised for another great season. Substitutions for the Gothic Knights, both coming in the 44th minute. Entering the game for NJCU, number 19, Edgar Crespo. For number 10, Joe Burgos. And number 32, Ryan Farrell. For number 5, Nelson Segovia.
Ron Jones with the big throw-in.
Crespo for Burgos, Farrell for Segovia for the Gothic Knights.
And Schaefer's able to come down with that. So he'll kick it away. Got about a minute 20 remaining in the first half here at Robert L. McNulty Memorial Soccer Field in Jersey City, New Jersey. The Ramapo College Roadrunners taking on the New Jersey City University Gothic Knights. Roadrunners with the early 1-0 lead. As we take down the winning moments here in the first half.
1 minute remaining.
Good opportunity here for the Roadrunners, and we'll see about any added time. Kesselboyam with the corner kick for Ramapo. He elevates that a little too far. Another save by Kazun. We'll go back the other way. A good-looking header by Samuel. That was Samuel Ansai, I believe. Schaefer.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Halftime. At the half, your score is Ramapo College 1 and New Jersey City University 0.
So at the end of the first half, 1-0 Ramapo.
Halftime intermission. Final score in women's
Definitely a
soccer
spirited first
in
half.
Mawa.
A lot of action coming
At
from
the
both
end
sides.
of double overtime. It was New Jersey
It was a
City
big goal
University 1
by number
and
3 for
College
Ramapo,
1.
Joseph Fala.
A draw, a 1-1 draw. in
His
women's
fourth of
soccer
the
action
year.
today.
And he is a presence at 6'7", 210 pounds. Fala has a knack for finding the ball. Gives Ramapo the early lead.
In that 1-1 action.
We'll be back with you in about 15 minutes to start the second half.
Play some music.
New Jersey City University taking on Ramapo College here on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon in Jersey City, New Jersey. We'll be back shortly.
Give me a water. Oh, no, never mind.
Too bad the concession stand's not open. Wasted opportunity.
That would have been good.
What do you want for attendant?
Wow, there's a lot of good.
A lot of people down.
Let's go with 248.
I put 227 as a free guess.
That's pretty good pre-guess. Leave your 227.
Huh?
Yeah, leave.
I did because my birthday is February 27th. I was hoping to start with the 2.
Let's go with 220. It's definitely over 2. People have been in and out, in and out. Yeah, leave 227. There's no way we can't measure it accurately. We don't have a fancy ticketing operation like Rutgers does.
Live stats are working, right?
Yes, they are, brother.
How's the audio?
Good.
Yeah, it keeps going in and out, but I just haven't connected and stuff. It's been good.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Probably just as well.
Yeah.
upset in Camden. Rutgers Camden 2 and Montclair State 0. Here's some oohs and ahs for that one. And in double overtime in Wayne, it was Rowan 1, William Patterson 1. The other game will be tonight in
Welcome back, everybody. We're here live, Robert L. Nolte Memorial Soccer Field. Second half just about to get underway. Ramapo College leading the Gothic Knights of New Jersey City University 1-0. Goal scorer for the Roadrunners was Joseph Fala. He is their leading scorer, 27 goals last year, as we're underway here at McNulty Memorial Soccer Field. It's number 8, Saidi.
Were you at convocation?
I was at wall. I watched it though.
I might be the first person in history without.
Almeida walks that into his goalkeeper, Kazoon. Goaltenders have switched sides, as is the usual. Division III men's soccer, beautiful day here in Jersey City. Golden Knights really need to get off to a quick start here, keep the pressure on, and try to get back at it and get back into this thing, looking for the equalizer.
Yeah, I like.
Giving chase was Joe Fala. Kazoon controls for the Gothic Knights.
He made 8 first-half saves, and none bigger than that tip over the crossbar where he was off balance and extended arm was able to reach up and poke it. Tell you what, it's plays like that that, as this second half goes on, may come back to be some of the key plays of this game.
And the 6-foot Kazoon showing his athleticism on that save for sure. Got a lot of elevation to get that ball over the crossbar and out of harm's way.
Some of the great players in NJCU men's soccer history out today. We have a crowd of over 250. Jeff East, Hall of Fame goalkeeper, came into the box with his 2 daughters, Julie and Emily, during the game.
We had some VIPs up here, Ira.
Some future Hall of Famers
well, they're all your fans. I mean, the fan list is long with you, Ira, so I hear.
I've worked with some amazing players over the years, and as they graduate and move on into their lives, they've become friends, and
that's really nice.
It's the best part about working in college athletics. There's not even a close second. It's just the relationships you make.
So true.
Jonathan Bilbao, former All-American, is here for the Knights. Just wrapped up his professional career.
Ron Jones has his shot blocked.
Marcelo Carpio, another former All-Conference great, is here today. Marcelo scored in the alumni game in August. And, Marcelo is not in the same game shape he was back a decade ago. But I'll tell you what, you never lose your skill. And, man, he is good.
Like riding a bike, Jones throwing directly to the keeper.
Leroy Saccharo, also here, part of the 2007 squad that won the NJAC regular season championship and was as high as top 10 in the country.
Well, the legacy continues to grow here, Ira, with your alumni and this incredible start. Things are good on campus.
People are excited.
A couple of weeks into the semester, who's better than you guys?
Well, right now we have the best winning percentage in the country, but if we don't score at least 2 goals here.
Let's worry about the first one, right? Trying to get the equalizer. But as number 18 for Ramapo, Durant Oakshee. He'll give it up now to number 7, Ronald Kestelboyen, for the throw-in. Kestelboyen, that's headed out of harm's way by number 8 for Ramapo, for the Golden Knights. It was João Fernandez. Gothic Knights. Correction, ladies and gentlemen. This former hockey guy,
Golden Knights is Clarkson.
Well, there's also the Vegas Golden Knights.
They are.
Yeah.
Well, you actually had the Clarkson Golden Knights up in upstate New York have the exact same color scheme as us.
Oh, really?
Almost directly the same. The exact same yellow/gold, and their green is almost the same PMS as well.
That is funny.
So it was funny when we unveiled our new logos back on September 4th. I got messages from colleagues all over the country, and all really enjoyed the new identity mark. But a couple of them said, "You realize you guys kind of have a similar logo and look as Clarkson. It's tough. You can't really change the night completely to look like nobody else, but
Right.
we have enough of our own distinction to stand out.
That's interesting. Burgos now for the Gothic Knights. We'll go back the other way.
I was actually out in Vegas as part of a family road trip back in July, and it was amazing walking around the city in the middle of the summer. How many people were walking around, not with a future Vegas Raiders shirt, but they were walking around with Vegas Golden Knight shirts.
I'm telling you, that city has embraced that team like nobody's business. I mean, season tickets sold out. A lot of people were questioning whether there'd be success with that franchise. First professional hockey team in Vegas.
First professional any sport.
And any sport,
yeah.
actually. Yeah,
not the last,
correct.
But
yeah, the Raiders, as you mentioned, will begin the 2020 NFL season with their home stadium still being built right now as we speak.
Right
in
around the
Las
corner
Vegas.
from Mandalay Bay.
That's right.
You could actually walk there from Mandalay Bay if you walk underneath Interstate 15, the overpass there.
Oh, it's going to be exciting.
It was interesting, though, 111 degrees and people were walking around in hockey shirts.
Incredible. Taking the kick now for Ramapo Kestelboyum. Oh, good opportunity there. But the header.
Tell you what,
goes
Fowler
wide.
got himself some excellent positioning there, John, as he was able to kind of get one step between him and the center back, Almeida, just to have enough position to get a clean header on it. Obviously, couldn't direct it on target, but again, 6'7", so dangerous in the air.
I mean, other than holding the guy down, I'd be so frustrated having to cover a guy that size. Like you said, he's good at creating space, and because of his physicality, he certainly has an advantage doing that. Shaking up on the play for the Gothic Knights. That's Alcantara. He shakes it off. We'll have a free kick now for Jersey City University. Right in the face-off circle, midfield line. That was poked away beautifully by the Ramapo defender. Good opportunity there for the Gothic Knights.
Yeah, heads-up play by Ansa, tiptoeing the end line there and finding Edric DePaula. DePaula took, it looked like cleats to the thigh, and he was shaken up.
Hernandez throws it in.
I can tell you, first-hand knowledge, that does not feel good.
Exactly. Durant Bokshi kicks it out of the Ramapo defender area. Were you surprised with the amount of substitutions in the first half, Ira?
On a hot day like this, if it had been a non-conference game, I think that you would see both teams probably go 4 or 5 deep into the bench. But these two teams are so evenly matched.
Ooh, big save. That's a big save by Kazoon.
Kazoon coming off of his line and laying out to block any chance of a low ball that could have hugged the far outside netting, which is, I think, where the shot was going.
He's calm back there, but quick as a cat.
I'm becoming more and more of a fan of Kazoon the more I see him play.
That's knocked out of bounds by Jones.
You know, his first year, he was a little, as a freshman, of course, he was not a full-time starter, but he was a little shaky back there. And then he started to emerge as a sophomore, and now Kazoon is as good as any goalkeeper in this entire conference.
Mimini with the corner kick for Ramapo. Another header, and Kazoon again with a big save.
He is not happy. You could tell him pointing to his right temple. Think, guys out there. And they have to keep Fowler's screen
I was
one
gonna
way or
say,
another.
you can't keep Fowler unattended like that.
Let somebody else beat you.
Burgos off the side of the foot.
That was a very difficult ball, by the way, because Fowler headed it into the turf right in the near post. And good job by Kazoon coming over. You know, that ball was just the way you could see the English on that ball. It was going to stay inside the end line. Ramapo would have had a chance for a second opportunity if Kazoon had not come over to clean it up.
Does Joe Cullen ever get fiery in terms of his temperament on the sidelines? I mean, I know he's a passionate, emotional guy, but that's Fowler shaking up on the play as he goes down.
And they're going to give a yellow card here to Mike Almeida.
Maybe Fowler lost his wind, I'm not sure, but he's struggling down there, that's for sure.
I'm going to wait to announce that to the crowd with the player down. Carla Mejia, head athletic trainer, head of the sports medicine office here on campus, on the check on Fowler, who was a third-team All-American last year and Jack Player of the Year. South Atlantic region first-team performer. He was obviously a first-team All-Conference if he was the league's offensive player of the year. But he set a program record last year, John, with his 27 goals and 61 points, and also 11 game-winning goals. 11 goals in a season for anybody is a huge number. 11 game-winning goals is a historic season.
Mr. Everything for Ramapo, for sure.
He will be missed when this year is over, as he is a senior from Cape May Courthouse, New Jersey. It was interesting dialogue in the box
about the
half.
name.
Yeah, people were saying, is Cape May Court, is that a typo? Is there really a place called Cape May Courthouse? Yes, it exists, and there actually is a courthouse.
You know, you mentioned earlier in the broadcast hour the rivalry element to this matchup and making sure the referee keeps things in check in terms of the chippiness, but 18 combined fouls in the first half, picking up where we left off as far as the physical play. I had asked you earlier about head coach Joe Cullen. What do you, as far as his philosophy and style of play, how would you describe it?
Well, I mean, he's calm out there. He's not one of these yellers. You see a lot of coaches like that, and my belief, today's player does not respond well to that.
I agree.
Just a different.
You got to read each player and their individual needs. But
He's calm. He has that good, calm presence. Same presence, quite frankly, he had a decade ago. He was one of the great players in Montclair State history. And it takes a little time to build a program up. He has his guys play organized. And if you're playing organized soccer, you will always be in games, especially defensively, by the way.
Thanks for that. Kestelboyne bends it over the crossbar.
And your attention, please. The referee issued a yellow card in the 56th minute to NJCU number 3, Mike Almeida. Yellow card for NJCU in the 56th minute.
Kazoon with the goal kick.
I never like to talk over the PA when a player is down.
Yeah, that's a good rule of thumb.
I don't know if there's a PA announcer handbook anywhere. You and I both obviously announce professionally.
Yeah.
But that was something when I started doing this 20 years ago. Just myself having played a game, even though I was mediocre, you never like to have anything but silence when a guy is down.
I agree. It may not be a hard, fast rule for every team in every sport, but it's certainly one of my unwritten rules that I abide by. You don't want blaring music and sponsorship stuff going on when a player is down, just out of respect to both teams.
This injury is sponsored by Band-Aid.
Yeah, that'll be next, right? Speaking of which, we've got a Ramapo player down.
And the clock will stop here. And Edric DePaula with the foul. Tarkowski the victim.
That's right. A lot of criticism you heard, like from time to time, about it, especially on the Elite World Cup circuit, Premier League, that some people despise when certain soccer players embellish fouls or injuries. What's your take on that, Ira? Do you think it is sort of part of the theater and the opera component to the game itself?
First of all, that's a great word, embellish. I'm stealing that one. That is a fantastic way to describe it. I think it ruins the game. One of the things I love about women's soccer, not only is it a lot more skill-based, I think sometimes, you don't see any of that nonsense, with the exception, perhaps, of Brazil. On the women's side, I think they're really the only ones. And even they have, I think in the last World Cup plus 2 years, really since about 2014, 2013, you've seen it calm down a little bit. The 2011 World Cup on the women's side, there was a lot of that, and actually came back to bite Brazil because it added extra time to the clock and allowed Abby Wambach to have that great goal to send the Americans to the final against Japan.
That's a great call right there.
Men's side, it's still a problem in the game, but the fact that the officials have been paying more attention to it and a lot quicker to pull out a card, I think it's cleaned it up somewhat. It's never going to be completely cleaned up, but I mean, when you have a beer commercial dedicated to guys flopping,
exactly,
everybody knows it's there.
Yeah, I mean, it got bad in the NHL for a while to the point where they created a diving penalty,
as they should,
or sometimes they'll call it unsportsmanlike conduct, depending on the referee. But I think it was warranted. It cleaned it up certainly right away. In the NHL, that is. Jones with the throw-in.
Substitution for Ramapo now in the game. Returning number 11, Raul Macedo, replacing number 3, Joseph Falla. Substitution in the 57th minute.
Macedo back into the game, as you just heard Ira mention. O'Shea Marshall can't control Ramapo's ball.
Just not a good ball there. He had that entire touch line wide open and just misplayed it.
The other thing about Falla, not to keep obsessing on this guy, but he's also a very sturdy 6'7". A lot of those taller guys will be willowy and thin, but he's just an all-around great athlete and a big body to contend with.
6'7", 210. You see a lot of guys in basketball who are listed at 6'7", 185. And to me, that's just too thin. But 210 is just the right dynamic to me. It's thin enough where you're able to be an athlete on a sport like soccer, which is demanding physically. Absolutely. You got to be able to run and run a lot.
So much bumping going on there today. I think Burgos, they've been very physical with him today, too. Oh, and that's going to score. It's number 10 with the goal for Ramapo.
Paul, can you give me assists on that? It was 11.
Ramapo now taking the 2-0 lead. Things got unsettled.
Macedo was the one who ultimately put it in as the ball was settled.
It was Macedo.
Yeah, settled it with, I want to say the assist was by Boyski. I'm not certain, though. We'll have to go back and check on replay. It may have been Mamini.
I thought it was 10. That's why I called it to begin with. But we're going to wait for the official. So it was number 10.
I'll go back and I'll watch
Araton Mamini.
11 from 10. The Ramapo goal coming in the 60th minute was scored by number 11, Raul Macedo, his first of the year. It was assisted by number 10, Araton Mamini.
So it is Mamini who gets the assist on the Ramapo goal. Credit the goal to Raul Macedo, the freshman midfielder out of Garfield, New Jersey.
Returning to the game.
2-0 Ramapo.
Replacing number 5, Nelson Segovia.
And Farrell into the game now for NJCU. He replaced number 5, Segovia. So with 29:45 left to go in the game, New Jersey City University with a big hill to climb. Down 2-0. So they got to keep up the pressure here. Taking the free kick, number 14, Edwin Hernandez. That's grabbed by Schaefer. Schaefer Jr. out of Ringwood, New Jersey. Well, it's deflected out of bounds. Araton Mamini, who got the assist on that last goal with the shot for Ramapo. Mamini setting up for the corner kick for Ramapo.
Substitution for Ramapo. Entering the game is number 20, David Nohauzu. Replacing number 14.
Getting a piece of that.
Nohauzu.
The Gothic Knights defender.
For Stahlbaum for the Roadrunners.
We'll go the other way.
And the Gothic Knights
Looked like a blatant hold there.
may be unbeaten, but they got work to do, and it's going to be hard to beat the keepers and come out with a right hand to break up crosses like that. Schaefer playing his position well.
Schaefer moving from his left to his right on that play. Made it look easy.
That lateral movement so important for goalkeepers.
Absolutely.
And he actually has not played the most this year. He's got the lowest goals against average. Coming to play today, their other primary keeper, Noah Beverin, has seen 4 games and 358 minutes of action, while Schaefer, 3 games and 242 minutes. Schaefer a .37 goals against average. Beverin a .50 goals against average. And tough team to beat because Ramapo's only allowed 3 goals in 6 games.
They've definitely done a good job at shutting down their opponents this season and doing it again here today.
I mean, this is a team that won 17 games last year, 17-4-2. They were 6-2-1 in the conference. And impressively, they were 7-2 a year ago on the road. Last year, they won 2-0 in Mawa. That's the same score right now. And JCU's problem a year ago, John, was scoring. Defensively, they were pretty good the entire season, led by Mike Almeida, who's their only returning all-conference performer. Scoring has not been a problem this year for NJCU. Coming into the game,
Scoring goals in bunches.
oh my gosh, they had put up 28 goals. Oh, correction, 34 goals in 9 games, had only allowed 6 coming into play today. Ramapo's already increased that by 2. This is the first time that they've allowed more than 2 goals in one day. Or more than 1 goal, I should say, in one day. 2 goals today, multiple goals.
Kazoon with the kick for NJCU. referee calls a foul on that play, and we've got a player down.
Coach Shane Marshall can't believe the official called a foul on that play. As it looked like the Ramapo defender forced the contact.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
There was contact, but when the defender comes in and takes your legs out, the contact is going to be forced, which is what happened there. And the fouls have heavily been in favor of Ramapo in this game. In fact, looking right now, it's 17-11 on the fouls.
Yeah, that's a big difference right there.
And actually, it's now 18-11 because that one had not been recorded at the time that I looked at the stats. It was 8 more for NJCU in the first half as well. Now a 19-11 margin.
Taking the free kick for Ramapo, Charkowski. That was a really strong kick and a goal.
An absolute missile there by Saidi. 3-0 Ramapo.
Bashkim Saidi, the senior midfielder, with just a laser to put Ramapo up 3-0. And the key to that goal, really, it was created seemingly out of nowhere, but he had some space and was unable to unleash a really strong right-handed kick that got past Kazoon. 3-0. Now Ramapo with the lead.
And it was 8 from 2. I'll read the subs off the last pass. Thank you. The Ramapo goal, his 4th of the year, was scored by number 8, Bashkim Saidi, assisted by number 2, Justin Charkowski. Goal came in the 66th minute. Saidi from Charkowski, Ramapo leads 3-0.
Ramapo keeping up the pressure. Left-handed kick. Kazoon with the save.
For Ramapo, re-entering was number 9, Mutaba Aslame, replacing number 10, Aratam Amini. Substitution for the Gothic Knights, there were 2. Entering is number 4, Oscar Perez, replacing number 11, Edric DePaula. And also in for NJCU is number 22, Louis Lang, replacing number 16,
free kick for Ramapo.
Samuel Ansa.
Oh! And Kazoon is taken down by his own player, who inadvertently got caught up underneath him. Kazoon went airborne, but getting the worst of that was his teammate.
That is a loss. The Knights cannot afford Mike Almeida, their best returning player from a year ago. He's been battling injuries all season thus far. In fact, he has sat out of several games coming into action today. Almeida has only played 5 out of 9.
Wow.
And that is a player that is the lifeblood of this team right now. As good as Joe Burgos has been in terms of carrying the team offensively, and Ron Jones and Coach A. Marshall and even Ryan Farrell with their leadership, Mike Almeida is that guy. That's the maturity factor that you don't get from a lot of 22, 23-year-olds that he brings.
So you may not see it on the stat sheet, but the heart and soul of the team to a degree.
For sure. And the coaches recognize that across the conference. That's why he was an all-conference player last year. And it's tougher as a defender because you don't always have the numbers to back it up, especially when your team's not in playoff contention.
Right.
But Almeida is that good and that important. And also, he's got perfect hair.
You know, you were rolling off the list of the captains for this NJCU team. How important is the leadership on this team right now in terms of how it's translating to wins? Do you think it's a team that's well balanced that way? You know, whether it's a guy like Almeida, like you said, doesn't have the stats as a defender, may not have all the glory, but those players are so important when it comes to leadership and maturity level. Is that something that Coach Cullen stresses in terms of spreading things around to different players, as opposed to giving one player more of a leadership role?
Well, it's interesting you even asked that because a year ago, Mike Almeida was the only captain on this team, and he came into play this year as the only captain when the year started. But about 2-3 games into the year, Coach Cullen sent me a message at 11:30 on a Sunday night, knowing that I'd still be awake, and said that we are going to actually be adding captains, and he's not somebody who hands out that captain tag.
The players do it themselves?
Sometimes they do, but it's often awarded by the coaches, and he's like, for the first time ever, we're going to go with 5 captains. And that's when he said that we're going to make it official on Monday morning that Joe Burgos and Ryan Farrell and Coach Shane Marshall and Ron Jones will also be captains. They all lead in different ways. There you see Lewis Lang, by the way, who checked in after the goal. He was one of 2 new players for the Knights. Oscar Perez also returning for NJCU.
Charkowski staying with it for Ramapo. He's going to give it away now to number 32, Ryan Farrell, for NJCU. Alcantara gets bumped off the ball. Controlling now number 9, Aslami. That's out of bounds with the throw in. Number 21, Louis Petroziello for Ramapo. Down the left side for NJCU. That's a push. Ball went out of bounds. Throw in NJCU. Offsides on the call. Referee Andrew Idles had his handfuls today with all the penalties being meted out. And the goalkeeper, Schaefer, sets it up for his teammate. The big hit there. Farrell kicks it out of bounds. Looks like Ramapo starting a little game of keep away. No hurry to get things going with the 3-0 lead. They're happy to see the seconds continue to tick away here in the second half. McNulty Memorial Soccer Field, 3-0 Ramapo. 20 minutes, 20 seconds left to go in the game. Left-handed shot by number 22 for Ramapo, Peyton Jones. Correction, that was Lewis Lang for Jersey City.
Lang, a transfer from Rutgers Newark. After his freshman year, didn't play a ton his first year. Started to see his action pick up as a sophomore, now as a junior. One of those second-team guys you hope is able to contribute. Now, the Knights were going to lose eventually. You're not going to go through a season unless you're the national champion, and even then, not all the time, without a blemish along the way. So the Knights are going to have to learn how do they deal with a team that offensively has your number. That's what Ramapo's done today. That's what Ramapo's ammo is going to be most of this season.
Checking into the game now for Ramapo. Number 14, Tiago Stahlbaum.
Substitution for Ramapo. Returning is number 14, Tiago Stahlbaum. He replaces number 8, Bashkam Saidi. Stahlbaum for Saidi. Ramapo College substitution in the 71st minute. Returning to the game for the Knights is number 5, Nelson Segovia. Replacing number 4, Oscar Perez. Segovia for Perez for the Knights. Substitution also in the 71st minute.
That shot by number 14, Tiago Stahlbaum, blocked by NJCU. Farrell with the header back into the zone.
That was about as easy as they come in terms of the foul category. Right in front of the AR2.
Hernandez.
So barring a miracle, the Knights are going to drop for the first time. 90% winning percentage after 10 games, though, is... I think everybody would have signed up for that one.
Absolutely.
Monday's game, by the way, against Cairn University has been canceled. Cairn has a scheduling conflict within their athletic department, so they cannot play the game, so the Knights will have Monday off. Unsure if they'll be able to make that game up. It was the 20th game on their schedule. Now, with that game being off, if it's not remade or another opponent added, and I doubt at this point it's going to be rescheduled against Cairn, the Knights will be down to 19 games. What that means is should NJCU win one more game, that would be their 10th, they would guarantee themselves, no matter what happens the rest of the year, a winning record during the regular season. And would probably put them in playoff contention for at minimum for the ECAC tournament. Those who are not familiar, there are two tournaments. You have the NCAA tournament, which is actually for the national championship. And then ECAC is basically like your NIT tournament. The best teams in the region. It's only for the teams in the East Coast, the Mid-Atlantic, and the Northeast.
Well, as you said earlier, if you had told these guys before the season started that they'd be opening things up at 9-0, I think they'd all be very happy with that. So the undefeated season in jeopardy today, but things looking awfully bright for this program as a whole, especially the 2019 season.
Substitution for the Roadrunners, coming in the 74th minute. In the game, number 25, Jacob Nizdowski, replacing number 11, Raul Macedo.
Good opportunity here for NJCU. It's broken up by the Ramapo defender.
Taking the corner kick for the Knights, number 2, Orlando Alcantara.
Alcantara stumbled there before taking the corner. Collects himself. Headed out of harm's way by Cherkowski. He got up there for that one.
There was definitely a slant on that corner of the pitch, and you can see with Alcantara tumbling there. Mike Almeida is okay. One thing I feared with the way he was face down was a concussion, but obviously he has been cleared by athletic trainer Carla Mejia.
Returning to the game for the Knights, number 3, Mike Almeida. Replacing number 32, Ryan Farrell. Almeida for Farrell, substitution for the Gothic Knights in the 75th minute.
Lewis Lang passes from right to left, now going down the left side for NJCU. It's going to go out of bounds. It'll stay the same way. Throw in for NJCU. That's Alcantara. Checking into the game now for NJCU. Number 23, Calvin Alvarez. He replaces number 22, Lewis Lang.
Substitution for the Gothic Knights in the 76th minute. Returning is number 23, Kevin Alvarez. Replacing number 22, Lewis Lang. Alvarez for Lang for the Knights in the 76th minute.
Nice little give and go. That Reyes helped create for Ramapo. Reyes has been all over the pitch this afternoon.
Knights are going to have a week to think about this with the game on Monday, now off against Cairn. Next action will be William Patterson on the road on September 28th. And the Pioneers, a big-time result today, getting a point out of Rowan, who arguably is the best team in the conference.
Taking the kick, number 10, Joe Burgos.
Tell you what, Schaefer has absolutely owned that box today. Credit to him and the way he has just manifested respect back there from everybody, including the Gothic Knights, who are going to have to find some way to solve this puzzle with not a lot of time left if they have any chance of coming back.
Yeah, certainly both these goaltenders playing a big part in the game this afternoon. Both aggressive, both athletic. I have to say Kazoon, though, has the better highlight saves for sure. Highlight reel worthy. A couple of those acrobatic saves he's made today.
And, of course, that is partially because he's been forced into having to work harder.
A lot of shots on goal for sure.
What number's in?
Edric DePaula comes into the game for NJCU.
Substitution for the Gothic Knights. Entering the game is number 11, Edric DePaula. He replaces number 10, Joe Burgos. Paula for Burgos in the 79th minute.
Durant Bokshi checking in for Ramapo.
Into the game for the Roadrunners. Returning, number 18, Durant Botsky. Replacing number 10, Aratama Mini.
Yellow card being issued now by referee Andrew Idle.
And your attention, please, in the 79th minute. The referee has issued a yellow card to NJCU number 14, Edwin Hernandez. Yellow card in the 79th minute.
Taking the kick for Ramapo, number 10, Ayrton Mamini.
This might be a situation where Mamini is a decoy here for Kesselboim.
For Kesselboim, yeah. As NJCU sets up the wall.
Blasting that one off of the wall. Kesselboim from my hometown, not where I live currently, but my hometown of Fair Lawn, New Jersey.
Okay.
Nice to see another product out of there.
Very nice.
He's clearly a far superior player than I ever was.
I believe Don LaGreca is a Ramapo alum. One of our colleagues. Did you know that?
No, I did not know.
Yeah.
Actually, wait a second. I did know that one. Yeah, Don LaGreca works with the Jets, right?
Jets, WFAN. He's got the boomer, Esiason. I'm sorry. Michael K. Show.
Yes. I have seen him for sure at MetLife Stadium during Jet games. We're going to have an injury here as DePaul is down.
Clock will stop at 11 minutes on the nose.
Lang is going to replace
for the
DePaula.
Injury timeout.
LaGreca is good, but I went to William Patterson, and I'd like to say our broadcasters are a little superior to the Ramapo broadcasters. I worked with a guy named Kevin Burkhardt.
Oh, sure. We know Kev.
They always invite me, William Patterson does, back to MC their Hall of Fame, and I'm convinced it's because Kevin's not available.
Come on, Ira.
Your A-lister's not available, so you go to the B list.
Yeah. You're being too humble.
Kevin, of course, number 2 announcer on Fox during NFL season.
Yeah, he does a great job.
His Philadelphia Eagles doing fairly well right now.
I was fortunate to have several seasons with the Eagles myself down at Lincoln Financial Field as one of their public address announcers.
And you were there during the good years.
That's right. A good fan base down there. A little crazy. But from Don Smolensky and Ann Gordon down the line, terrific cast of senior management there. They do a terrific job, starting with their owner, Jeffrey Lurie. A great organization to be a part of.
As a diehard New York Giant fan, I am hopeful that the Eagles will lose the next 14 games, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah, Giants in a world of hurt themselves. So always interesting, the NFL. Best reality show on television.
It's interesting when, as a lot of folks know, I serve as the internal announcer for the Giants, and I had this feeling when I announced the final drive for the Giants, and I said Manning's name for the last time that it could perhaps be the last time I ever say it.
What a class act he is.
Absolutely.
But they're going to give Daniel Jones a shot here in week 3.
It's going to change my my prep for these games because I have like 3 pages of notes that I prepare for every game as possible announcements during the game, so you're not sitting there. It's preparation. Preparation is key. So if you're prepared, as soon as something happens, you're ready for it. Well, I'm going to lose 3/4 of a page when Manning's out on the field.
I know. It's a long season, so you never know what will happen.
As long as nobody catches mono, they're good.
Right. Can't make this stuff up. That was Kessler Boyan with the kick.
It's funny because not funny. It's actually just the what happens in the NFL. Sam Darnold goes out with mono. They go to the backup quarterback, Simeon, and I look at the flip card before the game, and the Jets did not have
a backup
quarterback because they had to sign Falk a couple days before, and they had already printed the flip cards. And then Simeon goes down, and now they have to get a backup to Falk because they got 2 guys out of commission. Never know. Next man up.
Exactly.
It's the same in the pros it is here in college athletics.
Yankees have lived by that mantra all season long. Of course, the Major League Baseball win leaders are about to start their postseason. Last home game of the season with the Yankees tomorrow up in the Bronx.
Wednesday, I will go to my first Met game all season. They're going to stop the clock. I haven't been to a home Met game in a while.
Great ballpark, Citi Field.
I'll come back on this one in a second because I have to
got
announce
a
the yellow card.
Yeah. I'm telling you. Continues to be chippy out there, that's for sure.
Fans, your attention, please. In the 83rd minute, the referee has issued a yellow card to NJCU. Number 13, Michael Abreu. Yellow card in the 83rd minute.
Yeah, obviously frustration coming through for NJCU. You can't blame them. But do you think, Ira, that in a way this kind of takes a little bit of pressure off these kids in terms of living up to the kind of undefeated tag? Not that you ever want a loss, but they can kind of put this one behind them.
I think it's a very good point you make. There is that pressure when you are unbeaten to remain unbeaten. And, you know, they're being compared to some of the great teams in the history of the program. When you start 9-0, the 2016 club, which some of these guys were freshmen on, was 7-0. That was the previous best record. So there is definitely that pressure to live up to it. This is a good team. It's a well-balanced team. It's not one of these teams where you're relying on one or two guys. There's a lot of guys who can be involved. Obviously, Burgos has emerged as the big star this year, but he's not the only option.
They've really done a good job containing him this afternoon. He hasn't been able to generate a whole lot of offense. Not point the finger at Joe. He's been working his tail off out there all day. But I was hoping to see a little bit more out of the guys getting the ball to him. But credit to Ramapo for shutting things down really from the get-go.
Corner kick number 10, Araton Mamini.
The first 10 minutes of the game, Ramapo seemed to be controlling the pace, ball possession, the ball in their own end, and set the tone early.
What an incredible save there by Kazoon.
Yeah.
He was already leaning towards his left.
It was an awkward, it didn't look like much, but it was an awkward turn he had to make and got a hand on it.
And then I think it was Kevin Alvarez who came in, the outside back, coming back to play defense, that cleared it over the touchline here to force the throw in.
You certainly can't fault Kazoon on at least two of those goals. He didn't have, obviously, the penalty kick and the laser, the third goal for Ramapo. You certainly can't point the finger at him for not showing up today.
To be honest, I don't think Kazoon even saw that last ball, the third goal.
No.
You could see just the way he didn't react. I don't think he ever saw it. Not that he would have had a chance to stop it anyway, because that was just a rocket into the right side. You hit a ball with that much pace. Not too many goalkeepers at this level, and perhaps all across college soccer are going to stop it. And, credit to Saidi for Ramapo for being in the right spot at the right time and capitalizing with a just laser beam.
Number 14, Tiago Stallbound, taken down.
We're under 5 minutes remaining, so Ramapo here, when they sub, the clock is going to stop. That's one of the nuances here in college sports. Winning team subs, clock stops to prevent them from having a chance to stall.
Got it over the wall, but that's going to sail way high and wide. Some more substitutions here in the final minutes of Ramapo versus NJCU. .45 left.
Substitutions all coming in the 86th minute for the Knights now in the game. Number 28, Jonathan Sandoval, replacing number 2, Orlando Alcantara. Number 19, Edgar Crespo, replacing number 8, John
We got another
Fernandez.
whistle. We're going to go back the other way
Number
now.
12, Mateo Egas, replacing number 22, Louis Lang. Substitutions at the same time for
The ball was out of
Ramapo.
bounds. Throw in for NJCU. Ooh,
Into the
man,
game.
that player went down hard for Ramapo.
Is Kyle Barbosa.
I
number
believe that was
17.
Jason Diaz.
He replaces number 14, Thiago Stahlbaum. Number 26, Samuel Gutman. He replaces
So after that collision, we'll have a free
Eduardo
kick now
Reyes,
for Ramapo. Taking the
number
free
15.
kick for Ramapo would be
And also
Joseph Fala.
for the Roadrunners now in the game is Diego Galiz, number 6. He replaces number 21, Louis Petroziello. And one final substitution into the game is Jason Diaz, number 5. He replaces number 7, Ronald Kesselboyum.
So Ramapo now with the free kick.
I feel like I read the entire roster there.
Yeah. We'll go back the other way, and JCU with possession on the throw-in.
Man, there's going to be an obvious card coming here.
Crowd didn't like that one. Seeing their guy get roughed up a little bit.
They're not going to pull a card here after all the cards that have been pulled in this
And
game.
that one they let go.
That is unreal.
Yeah, it's blatant.
Now, I'm going to put down the headset here as we're going to have to do the 1 minute warning. But, John, we appreciate you joining
Absolutely.
us here on
It was
Gothic
fun to
Vision.
sit in and take this chair for a little while. I'm really happy for you, Ira, and all the success your program's having. Well deserved. There's nothing quite like the collegiate culture either. Just the love the energy,
In the second
the
half,
people,
under a
the
minute.
grad students. Ira is so well liked here. It's obvious. All the people coming by at halftime to say hello. A staple here at NJCU. Ira, Thor, thank you so much. Kazoon, fittingly, which will probably likely be his one of his last saves of the game. He's been a busy keeper today, that's for sure. And credit Ramapo for really being relentless
9, 8, 7,
from the jump.
5, 4, 3.
I think
2,
NJCU can
1.
really learn something
Final.
from this defeat today, and that's going to do it here at
Final
McNulty
score
Field.
today's New Jersey
Final
Athletic
score,
Conference,
Ramapo
MSoccer
3, NJCU
Ramapo
nothing.
College
So
3.
opening up
and
conference
New Jersey
play,
City University
NJCU
nil.
going 0-1.
With
Now in
win,
conference
Ramapo
play,
improves
their
to
undefeated
4-0-3
streak
on the
is
year.
officially
1-0
over.
in the NJAC.
Now 9-1 of the
Gothic
season.
Knights,
Monday's
after
game
a
against
9-0
Cairn
start,
has been
suffered
canceled,
their first loss of the season. They are 9-1
and
overall.
Ramapo improves
0-1
their
in
record
the league.
to 4-0-3, 1-0 in conference
Scheduling
play.
update, Monday's
They've now
home
won
game
2 in a row.
against Cairn University has been
So on
canceled.
behalf of everybody here at NJCU, I
So
want
the
to thank
next
you
home
for
game
letting
for
me
the
sit in
Knights will be on Wednesday,
today
October
and
2nd
offering a little insight
at 3:30 p.m.
on a beautiful
when the
day
Gothic
here in
Knights
Jersey
host the
City
Cougars of
as
Cambridge
Ramapo
University.
defeats
It
the
will
Gothic
start a
Knights of
three-game
New
home
Jersey City
stretch
University 3-0.
Saturday, October 5th.
My
the
thanks
men's
again to
women's
Ira
soccer
Thor,
doubleheader, the women at noon, the men at 2:30
all the fine
p.m.
folks here
For
at
all of our alumni
NJCU.
in attendance, please join us pre-game
We will have a
We'll see you real soon, folks. Be sure to tune in to our next game.
Prior to NJCU women's and men's
That
soccer
is
against Rutgers Camden.
a
Again,
away
that's on
game
Saturday,
against William Patterson,
October 5th.
Saturday, September 28th, as the men's New Jersey City University soccer
The
team
next action for NJCU men's soccer
take
will be 1
on
week from today,
William
Saturday,
Patterson.
September
The
28th,
time is
2
p.m.
when they take
on
on
Saturday,
the
September
Pioneers
28th.
of
All right, that's going to do it,
Patterson
folks. Thanks so much for
University
tuning in. Have a great
Freshman
rest of your weekend
Now played
and
in
enjoy
Wayne,
your
New Jersey.
evening.
And a
Bye-bye.
special shout out to all of our NJCU men's soccer alumni in attendance today. In particular, the 2007 NJCU men's soccer team, which won the New Jersey Athletic Conference regular season championship and was ranked in the top 10 in the country that season. We welcome them back to action today here at the Robert McNulty Memorial Soccer Field. Thank you for attending today's game. Please arrive home safely.
How you doing?
Eddie?